Good morning, you guys. Today we're going to be going over manicures and pedicures. We're going to talk about the supplies that are needed to do a basic manicure and pedicure, the protocol that you'll use, so the order in which you'll do it in, and then I'll be showing you different supplies. So first we're going to discuss the supplies. I typically, when I'm doing a manicure, pedicure, multiple purpose treatment, I like to do the pedicure first. So that way the toes are dry when my client gets ready to leave. Usually when I'm doing a manicure type service, I'm either doing next gen, which is what I'm currently wearing, or acrylic. And those are 9 times out of 10 going to be dry by the time the client leaves. If you're doing a basic manicure, those are not going to be dry. So your basic manicure is going to need a little bit more time. Toes typically take a little bit longer to dry than hands. And if they want to go run or do whatever they want to do, I don't want them to mess up my beautiful work that they did on their toes. So I typically do the toes first, and then the manicure, I let them sit for about 5 to 6 minutes. The cool thing about manicures is if you do a matte polish or a matte top coat, it dries quicker. If you do glitter, it's harder to mess up. And then, of course, just letting them sit there will also help them dry. But just learning different techniques and tricks will help your manicures last longer if someone does do a basic manicure. So first we'll start with the supplies, what you'll need for your pedicure. One of the first things that you're gonna need is a pedicure bath. So you'll need a spa bath or a pedicure bath. This is what you soak your client's feet in. You will also need some type of soak, some type of, soak. I was trying to think of another word, but some type of soak to fill your pedicure bath with. This is gonna help tired feet. It's gonna help dry feet, achy feet. It's also gonna loosen up dead skin cells. So like your cuticles, they'll help loosen up some of the dead skin around the outer corners of the feet and of course the bottom of the feet. That way they get a overall better treatment and it's easier for you to scrub when you're trying to go in and actually scrub the feet. So you're gonna need your pedicure bath first and foremost. This is an example of a pedicure bath. You can use a regular bowl. You can also get the copper stone baths that are available. And then you're gonna put your actual soap in there. Your soap can be soap. Your soap can be like bath beads. I actually make a concoction of the soak that I use. So I use a little bit of a liquid and then I also use a little bit of salts. Salts dissolve in the water, helps with the aches and pains. Excuse me. And then the liquid that I use has a peppermint in it, and then I like to add lavender to it as well. I create the whole ambiance of it. An example of a soak that you may want to put to your client's pedicure today. I have some over here. Is this Bare Pearl soap? This is illuminating pedicure soap that you can just drop down into there, and then you have your clients immerse their feet anywhere from 5 to 10 minutes. One really good thing about having your clients soak their feet is if you're running behind, you can grab a couple extra things that you need for your pedicure service. It can also help again with their feet and everything that's going on with them. So we have our pedicure bath, we have our soak. You're also going to need towels. Now, some people like to use hot towels, some people like to use dry towels, and some people just use cold, wet towels. I personally like to use a hot towel tabby and put my hot towels in there, the same way I would if I was doing one of my facials. Hot towels are really great after you've done the mask and after you've done the scrub on your clients. So I'm gonna do my spa bath, I'm gonna do my soak, I'm gonna make sure I have enough towels to help remove product, and then also towels are a good placement for the supplies that you're gonna put down, as well as when you need to dry the feet off or remove excess residue from a product that you have already put on there. You're going to need a stool. So the stool is going to be for you as the practitioner to sit there and service your client. They're also going to need a chair. Nowadays, people are doing pedicures in chairs when they're going to their homes, and each person sits in a chair. And you can put your bath or your basin on the floor, also known as a basin, on the floor in front of your clients to allow them to soak their feet. Let's see, you'll need a stool, we got our towels, and then we will also need our actual tools that we're gonna be using. So tools are gonna be nippers, cuticle pushers. Your cuticle pusher is usually a long kind of cylinder type tool. It is what you utilize to push the dead skin back on the nail for a prettier application, cleaner and neater application. Some people use birchwood sticks um, as their cuticle pusher. It just depends kind of what you have and all your tools. But here is, excuse me, an example of a cuticle pusher. This is the C&D brand. You take it and you slightly push back. And then your nippers are going to be your stainless steel tool that after you've pushed back the cuticles, you go and you slightly nip away at the dead cuticles. You don't want to overly nip, just enough. So that way the covering of the nail is nice. You see a clean, neat nail bed. You also might need nail clippers. Nail clippers are what you're going to go in and use to cut the nail to the desired length. You also will need a file or files. I say files in parentheses because if they are getting an extension to the nail, like gel or acrylic, you're going to need a coarser grit file to use to kind of etch out and shape. So we got our nippers, our cuticle pushers, our nail clippers, our files. We also need buffers or a buffer. The buffer goes back after you're kind of done with everything and smooths out the nail plate. So it's super shiny and crisp and ready to go to actually put on the final application, whether it be polish or what have you. Today it's going to be polish since we're doing a basic. So we got our nippers, our cuticle pushers, our nail clippers, our files, our buffers. These are our nail files. So you have nail files. Nail files are going to be the files that you use to file the nail. And then you also have foot files. Foot files are what you use to scrape the feet. Call it correctly. I don't know. Clippers, cuticle pushers, nail clippers, files, buffers, foot files. Just scrape the bottom of the feet. Let's see what you might need under your supplies. I think that's everything as far as tools are concerned. And then if we come out here and we talk about our products, in conjunction with the soak, you're also going to need cuticle remover, acetone, top, and base coat. It's important to have both. Your base coat is a protective layering for the natural nail. That way, if you're using an inexpensive polish and it maybe doesn't have as good as pigments, it doesn't stain the nail bed. So base coat is just as important as top coat. And then your top coat is what seals everything. It's your finisher. It's what makes it glossy or matte or whatever type of finish your client is. So your acetone is going to remove polish. You always want to have acetone. It's great for removal of all application. It's also good if you make little smudges or mess up anywhere. And then of course your top coat and base coat along with your soak that you originally had, your cuticle remover. You also need some type of oil, like a lavender or chamomile oil. Oil is what you're going to use for the massage portion of your basic pedicure. You would typically massage the legs and the foot and the ankle when you're doing a basic pedicure. I forgot one thing down here for our tools, going back here. You're also gonna need like a French brush. A French brush is good for doing French nails. So if somebody wants an American or a French or any type of color where you go through and you clean up and you just do a very thin portion of the nail with color or white or ivory. The French brush, though, in accordance to making a French looking type application, is also really good when you want to go back and clean the sides of the nail or underneath if you've made a smudge, and you then incorporate your acetone to remove it. Acetone works way better than just nail polish remover. It's a pure acetate, so it's a lot stronger and works a lot better than just your not makeup remover, fingernail polish. So I forgot about your French brush. Also need that. Also, you're going to need your supplies. I'm gonna put it over here. You're gonna need some type of cotton, whether it be cotton balls, cotton strips, or 4x4s. The cotton you're going to use if you need to remove anything. You can also put cotton between the toes, or you could put toe separators. In conjunction with your toe separators, you might want to invest in disposable flip flops. Doodads right here. These are really, really great for putting on your clients after they have received their pedicure and their toes need to dry and they didn't have appropriate shoes, or if they do have flip flops, but the flip flop covers part of their toe. Great to have these on hand. That way, you don't have to worry about the work getting. So I'm gonna invest in flip flops. Some other products that you can use in conjunction with your cuticle remover, acetone, top, base coat, oil massage, and your soak, you can also get a scrub. Now, some people, this can be salt or sugar based, typically, are the most common. Um, when it comes to scrubs, whether it's body or feet or whatever. Um, Scrub is really nice because it exfoliates the skin, and then if there was maybe a chunk of dead skin cells on the bottom of the feet that maybe you missed or didn't come off, it's really great. You can go back and scrub um, the surface that you just treated to help smooth it all out and polish it out. Now, this particular part you sometimes find in the basic, sometimes you don't. It's going to depend on the technician that you go to if they offer a scrub. They typically don't offer them. And then last but not least, one of the most important in conjunction with our products is our actual polish. You are going to need polish in order to polish your actual foot or your toe, what have you. This is going to be the color that you put on the toenail to end the surface. So to run through this again, we're going to start with our basin. Our basin's going to have our soak. We're going to need towels. The towels are going to help with just making sure you have everything as far as being able to wipe stuff off or having a placement. Then you're going to need a stool. The stool is going to be where you sit. Your tools are going to be your nippers, your cuticle pusher, your nail clippers, your files, your buffers, your foot file, and then of course your French brush. Some other supplies are going to be cotton, toe separators, or disposable flip-flops, depending on if your client comes with the appropriate shoes or not. And then our products are going to be a cuticle remover. That's what we use to push back the cuticles, and then we incorporate our nippers to actually remove it. Our acetone, if we make smudges or mess up, or we need to remove a prior application from them coming in. Top and base coat, and then of course oil to massage their foot and or leg. So, and our polish. So those are all the supplies and tools and equipment that you'll need to do a basic pedicure. Next, we'll be going over how what you need, excuse me, for your manicure portion of your pedicure. I thought you were gone. I just usually come back.